right, we're now on the highway on the way to the border with Pakistan. So, Thomas, what are we going to be seeing out there today and on the way to the border?
It's around 30 minutes drive from the city, and will be around 30 kilometers.
Right.
And we'll be seeing a lot of farmlands on the way, a lot of villages which are the border areas, and a lot of army activities on the way.
Right.
And we have a lot of BSF camps, army camps. That the border ceremony that we're going to see now in the ceremony, it's held by the Border Security Force, BSF. So BSF stands for Border Security Force. And the interesting fact is our BSF Border Security Force is one of the largest border security force in the world. And on the other side, they have a Pakistani Rangers who do the same thing, a parade with, they'll do simultaneously the parade. And as per the constitution, the both countries' flag has to lower down as the sun goes down. So this is the parade about, they will have the parade first, then they will lower the flag. And which will start, I think this time it will start by 5 o'clock till 5:30.
Let's switch back on when we're back at the border. Okay folks, I'm just going down to my handheld version right now, and let's see how that goes. I may lose the microphone, we'll see how that goes as well. So I'm back to the handheld and found out no selfie sticks allowed, so we're going to give this a go. As I have gotten used to in India, sometimes you have to adapt to your filming situation. This is quite the event, daily event here. It's almost like quite the rally. Like everybody's getting ready for a parade. Can you carry in snacks?
Yeah, you can carry snacks.
It's like a sporting event, isn't it? No drugs, cigars, cigarettes, pipe. We have no lighters, no knives, no tools, no bags. That looks like a power bank. No plugs. Axe body spray. Yeah, Axe body spray is offensive in any country. And no liquor. So the first thing that we have to do is clear with the passports. It's quite simple. They just want to check my passport. I had to show my photo. They got a chance to verify who I was, and that was fairly simple. Ahead is the security check-in, and there's ladies go to the right and men to the left. And this is the Attari-Wagah Border, the Border Security Force, India's first line of defense. Whoa. A few tripping hazards. The compulsory metal detector that you go through at the metro and all monuments in India. That went a lot better than expected, so I'm very happy about that. Now we're going off to the stadium. And that's the world's largest flag?
Yeah.
Asia is the largest flag. Until the Pakistanis make a bigger one, and then India will make another big one. Always a bit of a competition. And sometimes you got to accept that, there's healthy forms of competition when it comes down to border security, I suppose. The trade gate over there, and that's where the Pakistanis come over to India. This is infinitely fascinating, just gotta say. One of the fun parts of traveling in India is the influence of the British, to witness what that is. And beware of touts and pickpockets. Like honestly, who still uses the expression touts? But in India, it's alive and well, because that was a translation that they have worked with for a long time. So the foreigners have to go in a different line and we have to show our passports again. So we actually get our passports scanned. So they have a record of who is coming in and bearing witness to this event.
Open the passport.
Yep. Thank you. This is quite something. This is really unexpected and so very interesting. They put all the foreigners in a section where I think down here they have all the Indian nationals, and it looks like they have people connected to the military in another seating area. The Pakistani side is over there, and the colors of the stand is in the Pakistani green and white, and they have the motifs of the flags on the various pillars of the by the gates. So the Indian flag is over here, and the Pakistani flag is over there. One of the oddities here is the party atmosphere prior to the actual border closing ceremony. It's quite something. This is crazy. It really does seem like a show of Indian nationalism versus Pakistani nationalism. We had a guy who was dancing in the white frock like a whirling dervish down there. And these women are obviously having the time of their life dancing on the road for the border crossing. It's weird to think that a tourist attraction, that a border crossing could be a tourist attraction. But they certainly know how to put on a show for how they close the border every night. And then after sunset, this place is going to be dead. So they really do make the most of the event. It is getting on to almost 5 o'clock. It's really, every day, one of the best parties in town. So why not be here every day? This is incredible. Yes, it does have a very much party-like atmosphere, but I do realize that this is also a very serious military operation. But I've never quite witnessed a military and border security quite like this. I think one of the fun elements for this is for the women and their daughters or other, maybe a kiddie party, that they are having the time of their life here. and they get to dance, and they got a little mosh pit going on there. So in terms of energy level, it will seem as if India's got the lead on this one. Beti's having a lot of fun there.
रोड एवं स्टेडियम के ऊपर खड़े आप सभी दर्शकों से निवेदन है कृपया ध्यान रखें आप सभी आप सभी दर्शकों से निवेदन है कृपया अपने अपने स्थान पर बैठे
And there's Pakistan over there. And the gate is closed.
आप सभी दर्शकों से विनम्र निवेदन है कृपया जेसीपी अटारी के
Well, that certainly was one of the more interesting border patrol or border crossing or border closing events I've witnessed in my life. High in performance, high in nationalism. If you remember Monty Python, a little bit of the Ministry of Silly Walks. But you know, that was a military tradition that has been maintained here. But it did look a little bit like the Ministry of Silly Walks. And it did remind me some of the moves, a little bit of like a death drop that you'll see at the balls that they'd be doing voguing. So, yeah, you know, the performative elements were quite fascinating. The nationalism, dialed up on both sides. There's always a bit of tension between the India and Pakistan. And, you know, it did seem like it was fairly friendly in terms of what they do, but it is quite the event. And as I said, given the environment, it's quite the lively and party crowd prior to the actual closing of the border ceremony. Gonna wrap up here, and we're gonna head back to Amritsar now.